Guys, welcome to Code Your Trade. Today we'll be writing some Python code to automate access token generation in Zerodha using Selenium. Before we get started, let's try to understand the steps involved in this process. The first thing is you have to open this link which you see in the screen. Please make sure you replace API key with your API key. Once you open this link, you'll land on the login page of Zerodha. You have to log into this page. Once you log in, you have to copy the URL and the URL will look something like this. In this URL, you can see there is request token. You have to copy this request token which we will use to generate access token. Please note the request token is valid for about 10 to 15 minutes and you have to generate access token in that time, and access token is valid for the whole day, which you can use the access token to trade in your Zerodha account. What we'll be doing now is automate all these steps in Python using Selenium. Let's get started with coding. Alright, now we'll install all the necessary packages needed to do this. The first thing you need is the official Kiteconnect package and pyotp, Selenium and WebDriver Manager. Once you install all this package, we can go ahead with coding. I'll import all these packages. To see, I've imported pyotp, which we'll be using to generate our OTP, and I've imported time, and I've imported official Kiteconnect package, and I've imported my credentials. What credentials we need? We need API key, API secret, user ID, password, and TOTP. API key and secret will be available when you're creating your algo account with Zerodha. User ID, password, TOTP, secret is your normal user ID, password, and TOTP secret you get when you're setting up your 2FA authentication, right? And the remaining packages are from Selenium. And next, we'll code the automation for this process. We'll have try finally block. And in this try block, the first thing we need is we need to open this URL, which will actually go to our account where we have to log in and get the URL which has request token. We'll construct our URL like this. If you can see, I replaced the API key with my API key, and the next step is we'll read the TOTP secret and store it in a variable, and we'll install the WebDriver for Chrome. So what this line is doing is every time we run this program, it will search for the latest Chrome driver, latest compatible Chrome driver, and install that. So we don't have to manually go through the Chrome to install the Chrome driver, right? And the next step is we will get this URL. What does this mean? When this line of code runs, it will open Chrome and it will load this URL. We will give about 3 seconds for the Chrome to load this URL. After this URL is loaded, we have to automate enter our user ID and password. How do we do that? The first thing is we have to get this ID, the user ID. Each input has its own ID. So if you click on inspect, you'll see there is an input tag, and inside this tag there are some information which we need. It's like type, placeholder, ID. We are interested in this ID, so the ID itself is user ID. If you see here, what I did is once this URL is loaded, I've got the input tag by ID, which is user ID, and I will send my user ID to this. What it's doing is our user ID will be entered here. The next step is to enter the password. We'll be doing this in the same way. If you click on inspect, we'll see that the input as an ID of password. We'll be doing the same thing. Instead of a user ID, we'll send it as password. After we have entered our user ID and password, we have to click on login button. If you see on the screen, there's a login button. If we inspect this login button, we'll see there's a type of submit, and we'll be using this to click on that button. See in this code, we have accessed this button and the type is submit. After this, we'll be clicking this button. The next page will be to enter our TOTP. After we click login, we'll wait for about 3 seconds for the next page to load. The next page would be to enter our TOTP. We will generate our TOTP like this, which is pyotp.totp and our TOTP secret.now. Now we'll print this TOTP in terminal just to make sure. And once we land on the next page, we have to do the same thing which we did for user ID and password. We have to find the element. Apparently the TOTP ID is also user ID, and we'll send our TOTP to this input tag, and once it's entered, we will wait for 3 seconds for the next page to load. After the next page is loaded, if you see in the process, we have to get the URL after we log into our account. In this line, we'll be getting our URL. We'll pass this URL to get our request token. These piece of code will get that URL, will pass that URL, and we'll get the request token. After this, we have to make sure we have the request token. If there's no request token, we don't have to move further. We'll quit the driver here itself. If we have the request token, the next step would be to generate our access token. The way we do this is, first we will connect our Kite application using our API key. After this, we'll be generating a session using our request token which we got from the URL, and we'll be sending the API secret. So this method or this function from Zerodha, it accepts two inputs, which is request token and API key. Once you run this line of code, you will get some information in session data, which will also contain the access token. We can save this access token in a text format, which is what I'm doing. I will create a text file and I will save my access token to that text file so I can use that again when I'm trading for the day. Now we'll log into our Zerodha account. The way we do this is, once our access token is generated, we can connect our Zerodha algo account by simply writing this line of code, which is kite.setAccessToken, and pass our access token as an argument to this method. After this, if anything goes wrong, we'll just quit driver, which is in our final block. So this code is done. Okay, now let's run this code. As you can see, when I run this code, the Chrome will be opened, and our user ID and password will be entered. Once that is entered, the TOTP will be entered, and when that is done, it will wait for about 3 seconds. It will get the request URL, and you can see the process is completed. If you go to the access token.txt file, we can see the access token is generated. That's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you have any recommendations for me to make any other videos, please comment down below. I'll be posting all the code and the links in description. Please check it out. Thank you.